Hey guys, hi once again. Welcome back to the session. This is your master teacher Harsh Priyam, and I am in front of all of you with a second part of this super revision. So I guess you might be remembering that in the last session, I had last Sunday, I guess, I had come with this super revision where I had said you guys that in two sessions, we will be doing the revision of the entire mathematics. So precisely speaking, I will be having questions from all chapters, almost all chapters, which are important from your board perspective. So in the first part, I took few questions, precisely 7 to 8 questions. And again, in the second part, I am going to have again eight more questions so that we can do the revision of entire mathematics. So this super revision is primarily focused on your pre-board examination, and this has a idea that it should give you a full coverage of all the questions which might appear. Okay, so chalo, let's start it without wasting any much further time. Here we go. First question for all of you. So the first question says, prove the identity root under 1 plus sine a upon root under 1 minus sine a equals to sec a plus tan a. Let's see that. So first of all, let's discuss the LHS, left hand side. So if I talk about the LHS, here root under, shall I take one root, like, because both the roots, so it's 1 plus sine a upon 1 minus sine a. I'm just putting sine in my a in my pocket, so 1 plus sine a, just assume that a is written. Now I know that I would not be able to solve this further because I don't have any formula. Every formula needs a square. So why don't you rationalize the denominator? So if you rationalize the denominator, you have a minus b. So you need a plus b. That is 1 plus sine a upon 1 plus sine a. Isn't it? So let's rationalize the denominator. And this everything is in root. Fine. Chalo. So a minus b into a plus b. I guess you all know it's a square minus b square. So very easily you will get 1 square minus sine square a, and in the numerator you will have 1 plus sine a whole square. So I don't think that I need to tell you that it is simply this square and this root will get cancelled. So you have 1 plus sine a, and then divided by, you will have 1 minus sine square a. According to the formula, do you know what it is? If you remember the first formula, sine square a plus cos square a equals to 1. So 1 minus sine square a is nothing but cos square a. So cos square a, and which is an under root. So after root, it will come as cos a. So what we got? 1 plus sine a upon cos a, and hence I can write it 1 upon cos a plus sine a upon cos a. So what we got finally? We got 1 by cos a plus sine a by cos a, and hence 1 by cos a is nothing but sec a plus sine a by cos a is nothing but tan a, and hence we got the answer. So this is equals to RHS, and you can write hence proved. The beautiful word. Cool, super easy, not so tough. Okay, so you have to just do the rationalization part. Here they have divided it by cos, so you can either go by this method also or the first method which I showed you. Probably that method is much more easier compared to this method. It's a bit long, but whatever feels good to you, please apply that. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Here we go for the next. The next question says, from a point on the ground, the angle of elevation of the bottom and top of a transmission tower fixed on the top of a 10-meter high building are 30 degree and 60 degree. Okay, so it simply means that you would have seen that long buildings having telephone towers. Have you seen that? Airtel ka, Jio ka. So that big antennas are installed on the top of the building, isn't it? So that antenna has been installed, and someone is watching it from this point. So if someone watched the bottom of the antenna and that same guy watched the top of the antenna. So the question is saying that one time the angle of elevation is 30 and another time it's 60. So surely the smaller angle will be 30 and the larger angle will be 60. Fine. Okay, that is the scenario. So question says that at the top of a 10-meter high building. So building height is 10 meter. So now the question wants you to find the height of the tower. Transmission tower. Yes, transmission tower. So you have to find this height. Chalo, let's do that. So first of all, apply this trigonometry here. 30 degree. So tan 30 perpendicular upon base. I don't know this base. Let's assume this base to be B. So I'll first of all write what? I'll write tan 30 equals to perpendicular upon base B. Tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3. We have to do cross multiplication, this here, this here. So we get 10 root 3 equals to B. That's the base. And now you will use this base in this triangle. So tan 60. You have to apply tan 60. Please apply that. See here, tan 60. So if I apply tan 60, see, tan 60 is perpendicular. So perpendicular, you will take h plus 10, h plus 10. So tan 60, that is perpendicular, h plus 10 upon base B. Tan 60, we all know, tan 60 is nothing but root 3. Fine. We have got h plus 10. We have got h plus 10 equals to, B will go here. So it will be root 3 times B. Root 3 times B. So h plus 10 is equals to root 3 times B. And now here in B, you have to put this value 10 root 3. So please put this value 10 root 3. So what you get h plus 10 equals to root 3 into, here you get 10 root 3. So this is root 3 into root 3, that is 3, and 3 into 10, that is 30. So finally you get 30 here and you get h plus 10. So I don't think I need to tell you that h is nothing but 20 meters. Although it does not happen that a tower of a greater length is placed on a smaller building. But anyways, question says like this only. So h is equals to 20 meters and hence we get the final answer. Wait a second, how did they take 45? Okay, here they have written 30, but during the solution they have taken 45. So, and in fact they have changed this value also, 20 centimeter and this. So let's not get into this answer because obviously it's not going to be right. So just leave it. I hope you all understood the solution which I showed. Okay. So according to these values which are given here, height of the tower will be 20 meters. Fine people. Chalo, moving on. This is the next question. It's a question from circles. Question says, in the figure, we have to find the value of R, and given the situation that AB and BC are 8 and 6. AB is 8 and BC is 6. Now how are we going to solve it? Super easy. Let's see. If you have a radius here, center here, so from center if you drop 2 radius, so I hope you all know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent, correct? So if this is R, and this is 90, 90, 90, so obviously it's a square because all the angles will be 90. 90, 90, 90, this is R, this is R. This means this is also R and this is also R. Correct? Yeah. So we have got all the values here in terms of R. Now please tell me one thing. If this entire length is 6, and this much portion is R, so remaining portion will be how much? 6 minus R, common sense. 6 minus R. Cool. Similarly, this entire portion is 8. This entire portion is 8. And this much portion is R. So if this much portion is R, remaining portion is 8 minus R. 8 minus R. Cool, cool. Now please pay attention. If this is 8 minus R, I hope you are understanding that this should also be 8 minus R. Why? Because tangent from an external point are of equal length. So this is also 8 minus R. Isn't it? This is also 8 minus R. Similarly, if this is 6 minus R, then surely this is also 6 minus R. So here you are getting 6 minus R. Here you're getting 6 minus R. So we got AC. Now, is there any other method to get AC? I would say, yeah, Pythagoras theorem. Why not? This is 8. This is 6. You can always apply Pythagoras. AB square plus BC square equals to AC square. Yes, we can do that. So AB square, AC square, I hope you know this is 8 square plus 6 square equals to AC square, and hence AC is equals to 10. Pythagorean triplet. So if AC is 10, 8 minus R plus 6 minus R, 8 minus R plus 6 minus R, that should also be equal to 10. So now 8 plus 6, 14, minus r minus r minus 2r. So this is 14 minus 2r equals to 10. You have to solve it. Once you solve it, you'll get r equals to 2. And that's what we wanted. Yes? So we find the value of r. Easy, na? Isn't it easy? Yeah, I am finding it easy. Anyways, let's move on. I hope you all understood. So yes, r is equals to 2 centimeter. Doing this blah 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 blah. They have taken a long method, like they have taken the area of triangle, but probably we can solve it much more easily. So I solved it that way. Since I'm assuming that you would have studied the entire syllabus. So by this time you know all other theorems like tangent from an external point, radius, square, and blah blah blah, Pythagoras theorem, everything. Chalo, if you know everything, then that method would have been easier compared to this. Anyways, let's move on. Next question, it says draw two concentric circles of radii 3 centimeter and 5 centimeter. Taking a point on the outer circle, construct a pair of tangents to the other. So this is a question from constructions. So you have to make a circle 3 centimeter. Okay, fine. With the same center, make another circle 5 centimeter. Cool. Now you have to take a point on the outer circle. So let's take a point here. And from this point, you have to make two tangents on the inner circle. That's what the question is saying. So how to do it? Same answer, simple answer. Like you have to connect these 2 points, 3 and 5. You know that we have to make the perpendicular bisector of this line. So cut, just join it. Draw the perpendicular bisector. This is the center. Taking this as a center, you have to take this as a radius, and then you have to draw a circle. Drawn. Once you have drawn a circle, so wherever this circle, blue circle, is intersecting the red circle, so wherever this new circle is intersecting this original circle where you have to make the tangent, these 2 points, just join it with the original point. Let's assume this is P, this is O, and this is A, this is B. So just join P to A and P to B, and hence you get your desired tangent, PA and PB. Yo, balle balle. So this is how we make it. Let me just tell you once more what I did. O is the center, and wherever is your point from where you have to make the tangent, just join O to P. Then make the perpendicular bisector of this OP line, perpendicular bisector. Wherever this perpendicular bisector is intersecting OP, take that point as the center of the center, and then measure this much length from the compass as radius. Make a circle. Once you made the circle, wherever the circle is cutting the original circle, red one, that point is your desired point. Join this PA to PB, you get the tangent. Okay, it's that simple. Fine, I hope you all understood it. So if you all understood, this is the method. By the way, let me tell you, you don't have to write the method of step of construction until unless it is not mentioned. Fine, so this is the method. Cool. Chalo, moving on. Here we go. Okay, it's not over yet. It's just an information. So the information is the beautiful information. That's all those who need some help, all those who are looking for some revision, crash course, revision course. So all those courses are live right now in Vedantu. How you can join them? It's pretty simple. You have to just see the description box. There you will find a link, vdnt.in/ytpro, and you need to click on that, and then you would be able to join the Vedantu Pro subscription course. There, I'm taking all the live, I have started taking live crash courses. Yeah, I have started taking crash courses. So if you people want to get in touch with me, surely you are more than welcome. You can anytime come and you can anytime join this course, and we'll have a lot of fun. Fine, people. Not only this, in this course, I don't only teach, rather I also take doubts. Doubts. So that doubt, you heard it right. So that doubt is also there. In fact, not only me, all other teachers would be taking doubts like physics, chemistry, maths, biology, like all subjects. Doubts would be given, doubt support would be given to you. And not only when I am there, in fact, you can take doubts from class teachers also. So all such facilities are there. All India test series will be there. Doubt support is there. I already said that. Assignment is there. My handwritten notes you would be getting. So all such features would be available in Vedantu Pro subscription. Let me tell you one more thing, that once you go for enrollment, there you will find the fees to be something around 2,700 rupees per month. But if you apply this coupon code HPE Pro, this will allow you a 20% extra discount and you will get the same course in 2100 or 2100, 2200, something around that. So you can utilize this coupon code and then you can enroll into that course, okay, in a cheaper fashion. Fine, moving on. Here's the next question. So this next question says that we have got a figure. A round table cover has 6 equal designs as shown in the figure. If the radius of the cover is 28 centimeter, okay. So this circle has got a radius of 28 centimeter. Radius is 28. Okay, fine. Find the cost of making the design at the rate of 0.35 per square centimeter. Okay. Use root 3. It's not 3. Use root 3 equals to 1.7. Okay. So question says that a round table has 6 equal designs. Now just 6 equal designs, which is talking about is this one. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These 6 designs. So we have to find the area of this area, means this design 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I hope from the figure you are very much able to understand that we have to find, so the area which we have to find is nothing but area of circle minus area hexagon, isn't it? Yeah. So area circle everyone knows, pi r square, who does not know it? But area hexagon is an important part. So please pay attention how we'll come to know about area hexagon. So guys, for finding the area hexagon, why don't you join all the sides? So first of all, first information to all of you that what is the area, what is the angle of the hexagon? Like all the angles. These all angles are equal angles. Why? Because hexagon is a regular figure. This hexagon is a regular hexagon. So if this is a regular hexagon, what is the angle? So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angle and there is a formula. Formula says n minus 2 into 180 divided by n. This is the formula for one angle of any polygon. So if the polygon is hexagon, 6 sides will be there. So just use here 6. 6 minus 2 upon 6 into 180. So you have to utilize this formula. 6 will cancel this in 30 times. 30 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So you have got 120 degree. So that is one angle. So say for example, if this is theta, theta is 120. Now if this theta is 120, you are dividing it into two parts, two equal parts you can say. So let us assume that this is 60 because half. So 60, 60, it will get divided into half. Let me just take the... So this will become 60. Similarly, this will become 60. This will become 60 and so on. ... Why am I so confident? Because I know that these central angles are also equal. This, all of them will be equal because hexagon is equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 angles. And the complete angle, central angle is 360 degree. So 360 divided into all equal parts. So all these angles would also be 60 degree. 60, 60, 60, 60. This simply means that in this hexagon, we will have 6 equilateral triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equilateral triangle. So if you have to find the area of regular hexagon, just find area of equilateral triangle having the side length equal to radius, and then multiply it with 6. That's it. Job done. So that we are going to do here. So area of circle, we all know, pi r square minus area of hexagon, 6 times root 3 by 4 into side square. If you know this formula, that is the area of equilateral triangle. Root 3 by 4 into side square. And here the side length is equal to the radius. So I'll write root 3 by 4 into r square. Isn't it? So I will write this. Now moving on, r square and r square could be taken as common. So I have taken common r square. Remaining is pi minus, pi is remaining here, minus 6 into root 3 upon 4. Now please pay attention, this root 3 value is already given 1.7. So why don't we utilize this value? Let me just show you here. So r square is given 28 here. So let's write here 28 square into pi, we all know it's 3.14. So let's apply that 3.14 minus Root 3 is 1.7 and 6 by 4. So 6 by 4, if I'm not wrong, this is 1.5. If I'm not wrong, yeah. So 1.5 into 1.7. Root 3 is given 1.7. So just multiply this, if I'm not wrong. So 2.25 and plus 0.3, so 2.55. So if I'm not wrong, this is 3.14 minus 2.55. So if you calculate this, if I'm not wrong, 4.5 and 1.5, so it's 0.6, something around, this is 0.59. So I'll take a round figure 0.6. 0.6 into 28 square. You have to calculate this and then you'll get the answer. I know the calculation is not so happy, but what we can do, you will have to do this. This chapter, especially area related to circle and surface area volume, these two chapters are something like which we can't do anything in the calculation part, isn't it? So 28 square, still I have tried to make it as much easy as much possible. So 3.14 minus 1.5 into 1.7, that will be 2.55. So that is precisely 0.59, but I have made it 0.6 lump sum. And then you can calculate it. Let me just show you solution. So, oh, wait a second. I forgot that we had to find the cost, 0.35 multiplied. I completely forgot it, man. So we can still do that. So the final value which we were having, area, if you do remember that. So area which we were having was, 28 square into 0.6. So 28 square, if I'm not wrong, 64 का 4, 6, 8, 2, 16, 32, 36, 8, 3, 4, 7, 784, if I'm not wrong. लगता तो ऐसे ही है, शायद right हूँ. Into 0.6, this is the area. And now if I have to find the cost, so area into 0.35 per square centimeter. So into 0.35, that needs to be done. So 0.35 into 0.6, 13, 6, 18, 180 और 210, तो 2.1. So this will be 784 into 2.1. Then you can calculate the value. So I guess you'll get something. हाँ यार, मतलब आ तो जाएगा. 7 दूनी 14, 4 दूनी 8. यार कैलकुलेट कराओगे क्या? प्लीज. अब ये कैलकुलेट मैं करना नहीं चाह रहा हूँ. 784 into 2.1. So you will get something this 162.66. So please see this. They have done also the same thing. See here. They have taken area of sector, but hardly matters, like anything is same. So 60 by 360 into pi r square. So they have taken this one area and, let me show you what the solution has done. So solution has done one thing, that this is the center. From here, they have taken this sector. From this sector, which is theta by 360, 60 by 360 pi r square. From this sector, they have subtracted this area of triangle, that is equilateral triangle, root 3 by 4 into side square. So they have got this area and then they have multiplied it by 6. So either way, it's the same thing. So finally, area of sector, they got this, and then subtraction and blah, blah, blah. Area of 6 designs is this much, 464.76. Okay. And then that is multiplied with 0.35. So finally getting this answer. Okay. Chalo. If you all understood, let's move on to the next. You will also get the same thing if you multiply 784 into 0. If I'm not wrong, 2.1, sorry, 784 into 2.1, something around that. So you will also get the same thing. Okay, chalo. Moving on, people. Here we go to the next question. This is the next question. Oh my goodness, this is a quite big question. Selvi's house has an overhead tank in the shape of a cylinder. This is filled by pumping water from a sump, an underground tank, okay, which is in the shape of cuboid. Fine. The sump has dimension 1.57 meter into 1.44 meter into 95 centimeter. Man, who gives this type of dimension? Anyways, the overhead tank has its radius 60 centimeter and height this. Find the height of water left in the sump after the overhead tank has been completely filled with water from the sump, which had been full. Quite a big question. So let me just show you what it says. Question says that there is an underground Question says that there is an underground cuboidal tank. From this cuboidal tank, on the top, a cylinder has to be filled. A cylinder has to be filled. Okay, fine. So the water is up to the full, like complete full. Now the question says that if water will from here to here, if water will pass, obviously the water level will come down. So say for example, now this much water is remaining after filling this. So question says that surely there is a reduction in the height. So find that how much water height has been reduced if this tank is full. So one thing is very sure, that height reduction is only because of the volume of cylinder, because this much water will be filled in this cylinder. So volume of cylinder must be equal to volume of the cuboid having only this much height, because rest water is still filled. So only this much height, because volume of cuboid is L into B into H. Length and breadth will remain same, but the height which has been emptied, that height will be the new height of the cuboid. So you'll simply write volume of cuboid. You'll simply write volume of cuboid, and that volume of cuboid will be length into breadth into height, where height has to be this new height. Okay. So now what you are going to do? It's like you have to calculate, and don't worry, it's not so tough. Let me just write it down. You'll find it easy. So volume of cylinder. Okay, volume of cylinder, guys. So we all know volume of cylinder is pi r square h. Okay, so pi. Let me just write the formula first. Pi r square h is equals to length into breadth into, let me write capital height, or let me write LBH here, and this as capital H. So that there should not be any confusion. This is the radius and this is the height. Fine. So pi, let's put the value. Pi is 3.14 into radius square. Now what is radius square? So where is the radius dimension? Radius 60 centimeter. So we are talking everything in meter, so I'll take this also in meter, 0.6 meter. So I'll write 0.6 into 0.6 into height of the tank. So height 95 centimeter, that is 0.95. Okay, 0.95. Oh my goodness, is equals to length, breadth, height. Now what is length? Length is 1.57, breadth is 1.44. So 1.57 into 1.44 into height is 95 centimeter for the entire sump complete. But we don't have to get that height, 95 centimeter. It's not required because only this much water has been reduced. So the volume contained in this much cuboid, only this much is required, isn't it? See here, only this much volume of water has been reduced, this much. Although this is till here, but only the top portion has to be taken into consideration. Fine, only this much portion. So this height we have to take. So I'll write h, which we have to find. Now we will do the calculation, and this calculation is not so tough. It's only looking tough. Let me tell you why. So why? Yeah, that's a question. Good question. So let me tell you why this is not so tough, because 1.57 will cancel this 3.14 in 2 times. Cool. And if I am not wrong, so this is 1.2 square and this is 0.6 square. If I am not wrong, 0.6, 1.2. So these two will cancel this in 4 times. Please try doing on your own, because 0.6 into 0.6 will be 0.36. 1.44 and 0.36, they will get cancelled in 4 times. Now we have got 4 here, we have got 2 here, we have got 1.95 here. So 2 into 0.95, 2 into 0.95 is equals to 4h. 4 will go here, and hence, or this 2 will cancel this in 2 times. So this 2 will go here. So hence you will have 0.95 divided by 2 equals to h. So 0.95 divided by 2. So 0.95 is in meter. I hope you know that. So this is precisely 95 centimeter by 2. So 95 by 2, if I'm not wrong, I guess there should be something around 47.5 centimeter, something around that. So this should be 47.5 centimeter. This should be the height which will get emptied, isn't it? So this much level of water will come down. So compare the capacity of the tank with that of sump. So obviously capacity, you can find out the volume of both the tank separately. That's not a big deal. So H is equals to 47.5. Yes, 47.5 meters, centimeter, or 0.475 meters, whatever. So again, the same method, they have taken like minus. I don't think that any minus was required. So not required here, by the way. So this was an easy method. Fine. Only the calculations were looking tough, but it were not tough. Chalo, moving on to the next question. So 1 by 2, okay, capacity of tank upon capacity of sump, that's what they are trying to find out. So they just divided it. So it's 1 by 2. Like capacity of sump is twice the capacity of tank, overhead tank, isn't it? Moving on, guys, here's the next question. This is a question related with statistics. So let's do this. This question says what? Question says, a student noted the number of cars passing through a spot on a road for 100 periods, each of 3 minutes, and summarized it in the table given below. Find the mode of the data. Okay, we have to find the mode. Do we know the formula of the mode? If you don't know, I will let you know. So, mode formula is very simple. It simply says L plus F1 minus F0 upon 2 times F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. So this formula might be looking a bit clumsy, that sir, what it is or how we are going to understand it. I will make you understand, don't worry. F1 minus F0 upon 2F1 minus F0 minus F2. Now what is this F1, F2 and Formula 1, Formula 2 racing like that? So people, first of all, understand that what is mode. Mode is always called the highest frequency data or frequently occurring data, most frequently occurring data. So here, whenever you have a grouped data, first of all, you should find the highest frequency in this data. So this is your frequency, which is the highest number. So highest number is undoubtedly 20. So just mark this class. And this class will become your modal class. This class will become your modal class. Because from here, you are going to get your mode. Okay. Now, if you have got this modal class, now you have to apply the formula according to this. So L means lower limit of the modal class. So lower limit of the modal class, that is 40 plus F1 minus F0. F1 is what? So please pay attention. F1 is the frequency of the modal class. F0 is the frequency preceding to it. And F2 is the frequency succeeding to it. As the name suggests, 0, 1, 2. So 1 is for the modal class. 0 is previous one, 2 is next one. Simple. So F1, you will write 20 minus F0, that is 12, divided by 2 times F1. 2 times F1, so 2 times 20, 40, minus F0, minus 12, minus F2. F2 is 11, so minus 11. Whole multiplied by H. H is class height, class width. So 40 and 50, class width is 10. Very simple. So what we got? We got 40 plus 20 minus 12, 8 into 10 divided by 40 minus 12 minus 11. So if I'm not wrong, 24, 23. So precisely it should be 17, something around. Yeah. So Satra, it will not be coming 5. It will be coming 4 point because 68 or 12, 120 or 120, 5, 6, 7. So 4.7 something around, if I'm not wrong. And this will be 40. So 40 plus 4.7, roughly 44.7 something around. See here, this mode came from this class, na? 40 to 50 class. And that is why this is called as modal class. That is why we take it as modal class. So you have to apply just this formula and then you have to just solve it. So the tough part here is remembering the formula. That's the only tough part. Once you remember the formula, everything is done. So how you can remember this formula? Practice multiple questions. That's the only method. Okay. Chalo guys, so moving on. 44.7, yeah, 4.7 was something around 80 by 17, so it's something around 4.7. And hence you have to calculate it. Chalo, moving on to the next. Here's the next question. Oh, it's a question from probability. Super easy. Question says that one card is drawn from a well-shuffled deck of 52 cards. Calculate the probability that the card will be an ace. Card will be an ace. Okay. So if card will be an ace, so how many ace do we have? So in a deck of 52 cards, people, in 52 cards, we have, I guess, 4 ace, 4 king, queen, jack, ace. So always remember, these all are honor cards. King, queen, jack, ace. So these all honor cards, they all are 4. They all are 4 cards. So from 52 cards, calculate the probability that it will be an ace. Very simple. Now you know 4 out of 52. And not be an ace. So it's simply 1 minus 4 by 52. Because anything which is having not, it will be simply 1 minus of that probability. Of having an ace, 4 by 52. Not being an ace, 1 minus 4 by 52. Very simple. You get 48 by 52. Isn't that easy? Like super easy. Huh? I'm also finding it super easy. So yes, 12 by 13, that is 48 by 52, and this one is 4 by 52. That's it. Okay, hooray, hula. Fine, so yes, that was all for this session, guys. And I hope you liked this video. I hope you find this worthful. So kindly practice questions as much as you can. If you need my help anywhere, anytime, just put it in the comment box. I will read them and then I'll do the needful, okay? So those students who want to get in touch with me, who want to get taught by me, you can anytime join the crash course and revision courses Vedantu Pro subscription. You will find me there, okay? So for joining that, the link is given in the description box and you can simply join it. But before joining, the price which would be shown to you was with 2,700 rupees per month. But if you apply HPE Pro, this coupon code, this will come down to 2,159 rupees per month. If you take it for a 3-month course, 7,000 would be the price. But if you take it with a coupon code HPE Pro, this will come down to 5,600. So just apply this coupon code. Remember this, anywhere, whatever course you are purchasing, just use this coupon code. This will give you extra 20% discount. Fine. Then you will be able to join it in a cheaper price. Fine. So guys, that was all for this session. See you all in the next session. Till then, bye-bye people. Good night. And make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye guys.